Hello and welcome back to those that are subscribers, and welcome to the new people just having a view now. Here you see a pannier tank crossing the viaduct. So what's in the video today? Well, the first part is continuation of the Manor House now that we've got the material back, and the second part is fixing the problem with the wall. So where did we leave off? Well, this is where we ended up with the Manor House. Items were required to finish it off, bits and pieces needed, and here you can see that we got the pieces and fitted them to complete it. So as you can see, a base coat was applied and then individual stones were picked out, allowed to overlap from one stone to another to give that leopardy print style. And then the window frames and the doors and the barrier boards were all painted. It was easier to leave them on the frets so that I could hold them easier. So once the paint was dry, the next job was to fit them. Here you can see that they've been fitted, and you'll notice bits of filler on the edges of some of the frames. And this is because I had to use filler around the back so there'd be no light bleed if I did install some lighting in the building. But that's just something for another day. So what was next? Well, as you can see, I started fitting tiles to the roof. And with this, I tried a different set of tiles. Weathered roof slates, LX410-00. And here you can see one of the apexes is almost finished, but I had to overlap it, so I couldn't, in all honesty, put this last piece on. I'd have to cut that down before putting it down, and this was going to be the same on all of them. So with this type of tile strip, you have to apply glue and then apply the tiles. Here you can see I'm doing it, and to get it right between each of the two pieces so that it all line up, I had to work it out by drawing lines on, and you can see it was quite successful here. So the next stage was to do the next section, and lines were again drawn on and worked out, and that worked. But as for the end, well, a different tactic was needed, and I made a separate module piece bit by bit. Here you can see me trying it. A few more bits to go on, and once I was happy, the final piece of glue that goes under the ridge tile that's there, and the whole kit and caboodle was firmly fixed into position. And then I could start, or should I say continue, with the rest of the roof. Now it would just be straight lines. Unfortunately for me, they're not long enough, so it would mean using one long length, apply the glue, stick the long length on, and then mark it, fit it, and you can see the process. Overlapping each piece so that the joints weren't all in one line. So the next layer up is a full length, and then another piece will be fitted at the end. It's quite therapeutic, this. It is very time consuming though, but the effect, as you'll see at the end, is, well, really good. You can see the completed section. Yes, it looks a bit rough around the edges, but they all need trimming in. And like all good things, here it is trimmed. and it does look like a proper roof. So what's next? Well, the bridge tiles are on, so it's the flashing. And for this I'm using self-adhesive tape, which has been cut down to about 3mm, applied, and then the edge is run down to make the joint look right. So here's one side done and the other side being done now. So we continue with the rest of them, and here you get a clearer view. Not quite right. Start it at the end is the best place and run it up. Yeah, apologies for the hands being in the way. Still not used to using the camera and filming this lot. And here you can see they're all done. A little bit of trimming on the ends to do, but it looks rather good. I've still got to paint. The first barrash board is on, and these will each have one fitted. This is going to be the most difficult one, and we'll put some down this end as well. Won't really be seen, but I know it'll be there. So measuring, cutting, gluing. It did take a lot longer than the speeded up version here, and there are a few gaps that would need filling in, but in the end it all got put on. So with them all fitted, time to put the little bits of filler in. This was the worst one, and it was expected to be the worst one to fill, as getting the angles quite right was quite difficult. Next task, the glazing for the windows. And for this, as the gatehouse had been successful, I used this glue and glaze, yes that's it, from Deluxe Materials. I haven't quite got the knack of it, I don't think. I think I'm putting it on too thick, which you'll see later on when I show you the finished area. Little windows like this do seem to take a long time, but we get there in the end. So I'm not going to show you me doing all the windows. As I said, it takes a while and I'm sure you'll be bored. So I'll pick it up when I'm just doing the last bits. Well, I decided it was pointless showing you stuff you'd already seen. So here's a view of the glue and glaze, all completed. And as you can see, it's a little bit come through on some areas. As I say, I don't think I've got the technique quite right yet. It's in the background, so we'll see how it dries, and hopefully all will be well. And it's took a while to dry, and it doesn't quite look as clear. It looks really thick, but I suppose old houses had thick glass. They didn't know how to make it as thin as we do these days. Next job, put some bits of, well, it's not really the flooring, it just distinguishes each area in case I put lights in. I may even put some walls in. So we used mastic to fill all the gaps, and here you can see it in position, and the estate walls there as well, which is going to be the next subject of this video. So we'll take a closer look. It looks good. I'm happy with it. Excuse the finger getting in the way of the lens there, and again. So the wall was the next. We had this piece in place, and it was this piece to fit next. And we had to put a bit of, shall we say, temporary, well, more permanent plastic down to fill the gap. And here it is being constructed in position, bit by bit. External wall first, then the internal bits to produce the thickness I was looking for. Something's bugging me here, it just didn't look right, but couldn't figure out what it was, so we continued. Put the internal wall on, truss fit first, yeah, seems good enough, length is right, and we glued it in position. Put the capping pieces on, and all was going well. Super glue, my preferred medium for gluing things. It saves me having to wait round, though it does stick to your fingers quite a bit. And here we can see it, but we can't see the retaining wall at the bottom, and that's because, well, it's a good 1/4 inch. So saw out, cut it down, big saw out to get it down. Check the angle with the opposite side of the cutting. Yes, it seems to be running right. If I'd left it level, it would have been way over here. You can see the actual angle. Placed it on again, and the final bit. Yeah, I think we've got it about right. This has got me thinking, should there be a tunnel there? Anyway, on with the wall. So with that in place, the next section, but there was a step. And the step was because, well, I hadn't built it right. There was a gap. And when you look at it, you can see it running up. So, well, if you're not happy, and I certainly wasn't, take it apart. So I took it apart, rebuilt it, got the level out this time, and put all the pieces back in. You can see from here that it hasn't worked out quite right, having to remove a bit of the portable board to get that piece level. There would need to be some buttresses where I pointed out there, but it's level, and you can see the actual edge of the wall there. Capping pieces fitted. Yeah, we're going well now. And the next job was the original retaining wall need to be lifted. So additional pieces were fitted underneath it at the right height. These were flush, and this would then allow the main edging bit to be fitted. As you can see there, I'm trying a piece. And with them all fitted, I can install it. But yes, the level's out again. Not making that mistake again. So, we've got some gaps now. Need to fill these. Need to protect the wall, so masking tape is applied. And how are we going to fill them gaps? The old paper mache. So with some kitchen towel and some wet medium of PVA, I proceeded to stick kitchen roll or towel, however you want to call it. Once this had gone off, I applied some filler. As you can see here, I actually put some cling film on to stop the filler sticking to the masking tape. Filler now fully dried and sanded down. You can see that the effect that I was looking for has been achieved. And the board lifts out and goes back in neatly against the edge. So there should be no view of a gap. But my little trick of putting a piece of wood didn't work. So I'll have to come up with a new idea, but that's for another time. So the wall was then painted. Again, individual stones picked out, and you can see it in position. Also, I applied the first layer of static grass just so I could see how it would bed in. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.